Hey guys, new video here. My Atlas stuff. So get requested a lot on stream, like what stones are using, where should I farm, what are you doing, why are you doing it? So thought I'd make this quick video for you guys. And you know, like after the Atlas has opened up, it's been a lot more fun. I'm really enjoying this league now. Because once you can focus farm, you can like kind of just like choose whatever region you're really enjoying, and then just play that like just straight up, just go completely ham and not worry about you know, too much other things. So I have been doing Lira Arthain. I've been having a great time today. It's been so consistent. I've been kind of making the monies. And Lira Arthain is great for a few reasons, because all the nodes are pretty good. If you like Bestiary, you can do that. If you like Breach, you have this. You have 6 Blight nodes, and you have 4 Heist nodes. Okay, so that's my overall strategy. And first, let me talk about overall what you should be doing before you really like start truly farming, like buying Scarabs, buying like whatever you need. Maybe even buying like Horizon Orbs to Horizon to a zone, or buying maps maybe if they're cheap enough. And that is like, I think you should be getting to at least Awakener 8. I think that's like a prerequisite, because like you just start dropping the consistent things from the Awakener bonus. You should have some points in here. Now, I would say that all the things on this tree right here are pretty easy to get, except for, I guess, the Feared. Because the Feared, all those things are kind of expensive, right? You have a Shaper, you have an Elder, you have a Chayubi Stone, which is like 0.9 exalts right now. You have a Cortex, which I think is like 2 exalts right now. So that could be a little bit prohibitive, but all the other ones you'll probably just get by playing. Maybe not the synthesized one, but let's just say you should have, I'm going to say like, you know, 8 points, right? I only have 10. I haven't even done my Feared yet, so I'll get 2 more points. I'll put them in here. This is what I'm using. I'll go over this really quickly, why this multiplies Watchstone numbers, right? As long as they hit the thresholds. More masters is always good. There's a slight master nerf to the awakening bonus here. So this is always going to getting 2 per day is really good. Make sure that when you're doing your maps, for me, it resets at 7 o'clock Chicago time. And what that means is like your last map done is the color you get. So make sure you do a red map, okay, tier 11 plus before the reset, or else, you know, if you do a white or yellow, you'll get one of those. Okay, you don't want to get the lower ones because you almost never use those. And then like this one's good because like more maps, these maps are really expensive, you know, like 20 something C sometimes. Shaper maps a little bit less, maybe less than 20 C, but really consistent, because like 3 plus what is mine, 3 plus 4.5, right? So that's 7.5% chance, pretty damn good. And then I take this because in the event that something like this happens, right, you get a 9 node. That feels really bad, because, you know, imagine a 5 node. 5 node means that like every other map has like hundreds of monsters. 9 node means that there's like 3 maps in between each of those procs. So taking this node, I think, is a no-brainer if you're doing a lot of maps, because it will smooth out the bad RNG. And then sometimes if you're super lucky, you can get a 3 node, 3 map Conquer spawn if it's a 5 node, right? So it's super sick. I take this. A lot of people don't, but I think this +1 to Awakener level, making the consistency of all of these bonuses really good. I took that, and I would probably never switch off of this. I think this is like fantastic. And then the most important thing about this is that when you kill a Conquer on 9, okay, it says that they have increased chance of rewards. The Conquerors have more chance to drop their Exalted Orb. They have more chance of dropping, you know, their influence items, if not that really that important. But they also have more of a chance, slightly more of a chance of dropping their Awakened support gems. So that over and over per league is really consistent. I like that. This one I sometimes later on, when I have like, you know, 100 of these refund points, I might spec into this before killing Cyrus, but it doesn't really matter. This has been nerfed because we don't do harvest anymore. So like this is, although this is good, an important thing to know about these percentage master things is that they actually don't add up and then roll. So for example, if you have 35% base chance of master on killing a map boss, and you take this 10%, that's not 45%. That's actually 0.35 and then 10% separate rolls. You can get like 2 from doing that, right? So you have, you know, your chance not to get one after map is 0.65 times 0.9, I guess. And then this one will be a separate roll. So like you could kill a boss, right? And you can get like a 1 from your 35% chance. You can get 1 from here if it procs the 10% chance. And you could also get another one from this if you have this node, you have 5%. And then if you're in a zone that generates masters at 10%, that could be another one. You get 4 master missions from one. So I think it's like kind of cool like that. That's a little side note. Once again, my last 2 points will probably go here, just because when I get a nice sextant, like maybe like a nemesis, maybe like a unID'd sextant if I'm corrupting my maps, maybe like a breach, an abyss, harvest, maybe not harvest, maybe a smuggler's catch, you know, that lasts for one more section and it's less rolling. I think that's kind of nice, but you can take like this if you're going to farm the shapers and whatever else you want. Okay, it doesn't really matter. This is just my thing. So that's, I think I went over this because I wanted you to know that if you're going to focus farm a region, make sure you get at least like maybe like 6 to 8 points in here first, and try to get this as high as possible. Okay, I say that this number, this top number where mine is 164, before you start going ham in a region, try to get at least 100. I think that's super fair. The maps are pretty easy now, so 100 here, and then as much of this as you can get later on. Buy the watchstones to fill in if you can, because then every map you complete will just naturally be filling in anyways. Okay, I have 116. It took me actually a long time. This took me over a week to get this, and I'm just finally rounding out these numbers. So probably tomorrow, the next day, I'll get this like a little bit higher. I'll probably be totally min-maxed at 162 in maybe like 3 or 4 days. But this is like a little bit less important than getting this number, right? Because maps sell for a lot, so getting a bonus chance of dropping 2 tiers higher and then guaranteeing by 1 tier higher is super good. So that's like the minimum requirements. Okay, now let's go on to the farm. So what I'm doing is I'm doing Lira Arthain for a while to farm up my headhunter. I have 5 doctor cards right now, and today we made a few thousand C. We have 2.3 thousand C and 5 exalties. Feels pretty good, and that's like after already buying another doctor today. So we've been like doing an okay job on the farm just by like spamming these maps. And so what I do is I use 4 sextants. I use primes because primes at the time that I could buy them were 150 something to 1 exalt. So always using 4 sextants. And then the stones that I'm using is I'm using a I think is that tier 2 or tier 1? I can't remember. It's let me check for you guys. That is tier 1. So I have a 0.1 chance to drop breachstone. I have a 0.1 chance to drop breachstone. I have a 0.1 chance. That's 0.3. And then that 0.3 multiplied by secrets of the stones is what's a quarter of 0.3? It's like 36, 37 maybe. So it's like 30, probably like around 37% chance, or sorry, 0.37% chance for every splinter to become a breachstone. And today I've dropped a full red, blue, and purple breachstone from that. Now, is that better than adding something like this? Because I do have one of these. This one isn't divine correctly. This can go to 100%. Tier 1 is, I think, 65 to 100. You can choose to influence the stone you want. I might test out like 1 UUL Needle and 1 Chayubs, because maybe that'll help more. I mean, you could go with like 4 of one if you want. I'd say the only breach thing that's bad in here is Esh. Esh sucks, right? So we might try some stuff, but this is working out pretty well for me. I think it's great. Even if you don't have these, you can still do it, but you should probably try to buy the cheap ones. Like this one I think might be expensive, the Chayubi tier 1, but like these were like really cheap. So get something. You don't have to copy mine, right? It's really important to note that like I'm just testing things out, and it's not really the best or anything. I just enjoy what I'm currently using, but I will be switching these out. So don't like be like, oh, he's using this, so I have to use those, right? Match the stone with the thing that you're farming, and I'll show you. If you go to your browser, right? Let me bring this over here, and then you go to a website called PWDB. This has like all the roles. So in here, just search for your watchstone in this top right search box. And you will see an entire list of affixes once you search for that region of exactly what can roll here. So if you really like heist and you take the heist points, you want to get some heist stones. If you feel like you make more money with blight, you might want to go into some blight stones, right? There's so many options here. Ironheart, you can go for Ironheart stones, or you can try something completely new. You can't really go wrong as long as you're focus farming and you have like, your prereq set up and you're using sextants and, chiseling out your maps maybe. I am chiseling my maps, I am outing my maps, and I am even corrupting my maps. The reason I'm corrupting my maps, if you're scared of them like bricking, estuary that I'm running is a natty. Natty just means natural, which means they can be horizon orbed into. So the tier 15s, although a slightly bigger pool than the tier 16s, right, with like the barrow chambers, you can pretty easily get an unlimited number of estuaries. So that's why I chose that map, and it's not bad. It's got open layout, it's got easy boss, it's got just density, decent density, and it's really good for breaches and easy to find things if you need to leave for a trade or like go back in. Don't get blocked by too much. So that's why I chose that map. You can choose anything in this region that could be conducive to what you're farming, and as long as the map isn't annoying to you, you can feel pretty good running that. So that is how I'm rolling my maps. And why did I choose this? Okay, so you will probably hear other people, because people actually told me to run this, and then I know that this is still good, right? Even though it's kind of nerfed. Now, if you only care about money, then this might be the play. However, I believe that the website, the trading website for the heist filters, is pretty bad. It's pretty garbage. I've never used that even when I was running heists all the time. And the main way that you are going to sell your contracts and stuff in bulk, okay, it will be maybe 100 times faster than listing them. Because I've had a trader for contracts where I try to sell them myself for, is you need to go TFT, and TFT is a third-party Discord. I won't talk about like I have a bias. Okay, I don't enjoy going there, so I'm biased. But I'm gonna say that for new players, the less you have to exit PoE to go do something, and there's also like, you know, scam stuff, then the better it is. I'll just like make this video as like kind of more new player friendly. So the amount of time I can save you by you not having to tab out into Discord and like wait for someone to reply, you know, it's very grindy. I don't like that playstyle. So that is why, although these four might be a lot better in money, I'm not going to do them. It's just not fun for me. When I run in there, like if you run into a map and you click on a chest and that's like the mechanic, you just click on a chest and some contracts spill out, some coins, some blueprints, and it's like, I don't know, it doesn't feel good to me. I enjoy these because there's a lot of monsters, and the reason I make a build is because I enjoy playing the build. I want to kill more monsters, so lots of monsters here, lots of monsters here, and then obviously, you know, you can do beasts if you want. I just don't really like menagerie, and I don't like having to store beasts and sell them. I don't like going to menagerie, so I just so always do what's more fun for you. In these blight maps, you will drop a ton of in these maps that have a blight in them. I'm running a blight scarab. You drop a lot of stuff. So this is a little bit faster. A little bit faster spawn is always fun, right? A tiny bit more loot explosion if there's more monsters, right? But the loot explosion is not really like that great, so you don't have to worry too much about that. But this small node is insane, right? Like these small nodes are really good. And then I've been getting a ton of blighted maps today, right? Selling a ton of them. And if they're a third, some of them are about a third of an exalt. So you can imagine you drop 3 of them, you have an exalt, you know, it's 1/16 of a doctor, and you are on your way to a headhunter pretty easily. You know, I feel that this is like, it's really crazy. And you can watch my VOD from last night to see kind of the flow of like how often you get these. And if you're someone who gets more motivated based on you know, those intermittent drops, right? You will feel really good farming this zone, because when you farm, let's say, doctors and barrow chambers, it's been nerfed, by the way. You might go like 50, 100, 150 maps sometimes, if you're, depending on how you're rolling your maps, with nothing. And that's messed up, right? You're like, oh man, this map's not that fun to begin with, and now I'm not getting anything. Well, you are making money, but like not in the way that you expect it to, and that can be demoralizing. So this one is, you're always like popping off with something, right? Well, if it's not the blight, then it's the breach, or it's the map itself, right? So that's the reason I took the blights. So blight maps drops very, very consistently, and sometimes you even get 2. You get 2/3 of exalt. Wow, very exciting there. And then, you know, oils aren't too bad. I haven't dropped a silver or golden oil today. So like the highest tier oil I dropped was like 9C, but you know, it's something. You get something to use in the harvest. You get something to anoint when. So if it saves you a trade, it saves you maybe a minute or two. And that trade can be really annoying sometimes, right? When you're trying to buy individual stuff. So having some self-sustain for things you might need in the future is always good. Breach is just really crazy. So you have a base chance here, right? 10 plus 18. And then you have, you know, more magic monsters, which are pretty sick. And then you have the rares, right? So the breaches spawn 10 additional rares. It's like more splinters. It's more chances for like the uniques that drop, which are a lot of money. And it's just a lot of fun having that many rares. Okay, it's they have higher quantity and rarity overall. So this is great. And in here, I would say that when you have these 4 nodes, it's talking about like opening faster, and then like, or opening and closing faster for this node. It's really interesting because breach has always been kind of slow, right? And if you choose a good map, you get the full benefit where it's opening so fast that you always have a monster to kill, right? Even if you have like a crazy god tier build, you pretty much always have a direction to run and kill monsters as they're spawning. And a lot of time you might even miss a few monsters or class pan because it's spawning and closing so fast. So that makes breach into like kind of an updated for 2021. Whereas back in the day, you know, you weren't so fast, and so it was okay back then, but not really anymore. So this makes it like really, really enjoyable to hit every single breach. I never felt like I was waiting on anything, and that was great. And a lot of splinters. So that is what I'm doing. So let me show you the scarabs real quick. Right, make sure you do your scarab columns. It might feel like if you're rolling like 1 or 2 maps at a time, it's really not the play, because you're gonna lose a lot of time. I would suggest doing entire columns. So I did 2 columns today, which means I did 22 of the maps in Lira Arthain, as you can see, because there's only 2 missing. So you're gonna do like maybe do like I guess it's 8 columns, right? Like there are 4 columns is like one set of maps, and then you could do 8 columns if you want to do 24 maps. And I'm running Breach, although Polish could be an option, right? I was just poor when I started this. Blight, right? Adding guaranteeing a Blight, guaranteeing a Breach, and then Carto, because maps sell for a lot right now, like a lot. Especially if you have bulk. And if you have bulk, people will pay maybe 1C over or something like that. So that's pretty crazy. You will notice that this thing right here, if you have this thing feeds into like these numbers more. So make sure, like, if you're going to use the Scarabs, make sure you have these numbers as high as possible. So you can't go wrong with this as long as you can sell some maps, okay? And and then you're favoriting, right? I don't have my perfect favoriting, but make sure you favorite some maps that can sell well. And then the Shaper. The reason I have Shaper is Shaper's actually not as good as Elder, because there's those balls that spawn enemies and you gotta wait on the ball. You gotta like hit it. Strongbox are delayed because of them, and you might not even notice. And but it does add monsters. So, and they were really cheap. I bought I think I bought like 40 of these for 33C. So they're actually less than 1C in bulk at the time I bought them. So, but I'll be switching off of this. I don't really like this one that much. So just the cheapest ones you can find. But I might be doing some swaps later on, depending on how available they are and how much they are. So these 4 are really great. You can swap these out for wherever you want. I would say you have to have these 2, right? Because the region is so good that like you will never run a map where the cost of the Scarabs aren't fully covered and then multiplied by like 2 or 3. Okay, it's just not happening. The Scarab costs are nothing compared to like when you start rolling these maps, and it's just like blasting and selling some blighted maps, selling some breach stones, or like running some breach stones. It's crazy. It's really, really crazy, and it's so consistent that you don't even need to worry about like, what if you just got lucky as a streamer, right? No, it is very consistent. So that's nice. And yeah. Other things you can do is you can add this breach right here, 2C. I think 2C is super underpriced, right? That's like nothing. So breach, always add breach to your map, because I don't think there's a blight, so you can't add that. But if you want to try something else, I mean, why not, right? It's like I think breach is the best, but you can add whatever else you want. And what else is there? Oh, prophecies. I will be adding prophecies soon, because it is like just so good. So I'll be adding like Tempest and stuff if I can find a bulk trader. And then other prophecies you can use are anything that adds the monsters. So Soil and Blood, Brothers of Necromancy, even Cursed Choir, Frogs. It'll be Frogs because outdoor. Anything that adds monsters is good. Okay, and that's something I'll be trying. Master missions. So because the zone isn't conducive for Alba or June, right? Because June I'm going to be running in either here or in Valdos, and Alba, I don't believe should be run anywhere except for right here, right? When you're seriously farming temples to sell or to double crop something, that's later in the league. So because of that, the Junes and the Albas are not on the they're not really like synergizing with this, so I will not run those. Zaba you can run for like good. It's really good for getting your incompletes done on your Atlas, and some extra juice. There's also some like middle nodes that you can take with this, but I feel free putting a Zaba on there, a Nico, or an Einhar, right? Like I know Einhar has like other nodes too if you want to pair that, but I don't care enough about Einhar, so I use these 3 pretty freely, and I save these 2. Okay, that's what I do. You don't really have to have a master on there. Getting a natural master is totally fine. If you don't run these, right, you'll have a chance of that. A lot of PoE lurker trades here. And then, so with these things combined, in Lira Arthain, that is my current strategy, and I'm doing really, really well with it. But please don't feel like you have to do this. Remember, you can choose any other nodes if you're having fun, and you will not, you'll probably make the same amount of money. Now, my long-term plan is, so these blood-filled vessels, okay, for rituals are really expensive, like 40 or 50C, because you will get a mirror from it, guaranteed, if you do it all league long. So last league, I got 3 mirrors from rituals with 4 blood-filled. One of our guildies got 5 mirrors from rituals. Right, because he played the entire league, and yeah, it is and it's been buffed. Okay, rituals are very clearly, if you've played ritual league last league, you'll know that they've been buffed from the default form, which means that if the rarity of the rituals are multiplied by a blood-filled vessel, then that has also been buffed. So, and because you can reroll this like 3 times per map, every time you do one, you have 5 ritual altars, which is more tribute multiplied by the blood-filled. So So you will end up getting mirrors, okay? I think our guildie already got one on his second one. Not that you can count on it, but like you will eventually if you're consistent. And I think that's why they're so expensive. So this is the long-term plan. I just don't have the money to buy the rituals right now, nor do I have because if you're going like totally big dick on this, right? You need to have everything min-max. That's at least how I feel. I want to squeeze every bit of like juice out of it, which means I want to have, you know, my full 12 points here. I want to have min-max here. Min-max is 164, 162. If you're wondering, 164 on the bottom number does nothing. And then, because I think it's like you want 27% there. And yeah, so, and I want my perfect favoriting system. So when I do those maps, because rituals do drop maps, I want my triple weighting, right? I want my 30 weighting on everything that I want to do. So until I get that, I will not be running the Bloodfield, okay? So this is end game. After I farm up like all the money for my next few builds in here, then, you know, then we'll be ready to pump in here. Now, I don't know if I'll keep this side. You definitely have to have this. This is mandatory. I might go 4 in here. I might go just 2 here for June generation and then 4 in here. Or I might go like just 2 in here and then like 4 in here so I can do Katarina. I haven't decided yet, but this is my strategy long term. These 2 points are actually, I was just trying this. I don't think it's that good. These 2 should probably be in here. Harvest, kind of a joke right now. I don't know if you want to take these nodes, but you know, as long as you have these 4 right here, you can't go wrong. Essences are selling in bulk. The good ones are selling really easily. So if you like essences, you can take these, right? And then make sure that you pair your watchstones. My watchstones are going to be the mandatory one for rituals is going to be this one. It's called Meticulous Prefix, Meticulous Platinum, Haewark, Hamlet. That's all you need. Suffix doesn't really matter. If you could get a suffix, I don't know if like rares are, well, you get rares, you get pack size, what a quantity, I don't even know. But all you need is a meticulous. This is the equivalent of the auspicious Valdos from last league, if you remember that, okay? And then the other 3 are just kind of like the laden ones from Valdos, if you remember. So it's you get this because this 4 rituals becomes 5 rituals with this, and then the 5th ritual gets all the monsters from 1 through 4, so you can see how crazy that is. The other thing I've chosen to go on is I've chosen to go with this is tier 2 right now, 8% less tribute, because if you get tier 1, which is 10%, then that's multiplied by this, and then you're looking at 36% less to roll the re-roll the rituals, which means easier time re-rolling, less stress. You can take more items before you re-roll. But there's also one that gives you more rituals, more ritual tribute, and there's also others that you can use that have nothing to do with ritual. You can put whatever else you want here, right? But you have to have this one if you're going to farm the thing, right? Or else like you might not have enough to like take a lot of items and then re-roll 3 times. So that's my later strategy that I will be going into. Some common questions I get is because it's really scary, right? When you first start playing this game and it's very early, because it took me a long time to kind of ramp up. You're always worried about like, you know, what if I don't make things back? What if you know, this or that happens and I can't I don't think I can like maybe fully clear the ultimatums all the time, or I can't kill T16 map bosses. So I'll say like the minimum is that everything I talked about earlier, but you have to be able to kill the boss. Okay, you have to be able to kill the map boss, that's for sure. You have to you don't have to be able to do the rituals, or sorry, the ultimatums, but you need to be able to finish the blights. You can't be failing blights, you can't be dying in blights, you can't be dying in the breaches at all. If you're dying at all in those and losing a breach or a blight consistently, or not being able to kill the map boss, then that's the only point where it's not worth. If you can just like kill all the stuff, then you're fine. You don't have to worry about the Scarab prices, or like, you know, but you definitely need like your full 10 points. Okay, so get your Malvins done, and then you will be good to go. You have to be able to kill the Conquerors and Awakener, okay? Conquerors and Awakener in between your farms is actually a lot of money, like a lot of money. In the long run, right? Depending on RNG. So that's like the minimums. And I hope you guys enjoy. I hope you guys try it out. I hope it doesn't get nerfed. You know, things are getting nerfed pretty heavily these days. But for this league, I think Lira Arthain is a great play. And then Haewark Hamlet later if you want to go for those big mirrors, okay? So that's the strategy. If you have any questions, cutedog_ is my Twitch name, twitch.tv/cutedog_, and I stream every day in the evenings. You can ask me any questions there and stop by and see the farming. You know, it's been a really fun league. All right, thanks for watching my video, guys. Bye. Bye, guys. Bye.